Hello and welcome to the Kitchen Design Experts. This is a channel that tells you all you need to know about kitchens, kitchen design and kitchen appliances. Now today's topic is about how to create more worktop space in your new kitchen design. Now I have to say, when we're talking to our clients, it's always difficult trying to get that compromise between worktop space and maybe tall housings. You've got to appreciate that in most kitchens there's a sink which takes up worktop space, and there's a hob unit or the top of an Aga or whatever that takes up worktop space. And then we've got the problem of tall housings, because they also pinch your worktop space. And many times we'll have a client who wants an oven built in at waist height, and then they want a tall fridge freezer. And then we look at the rest of the kitchen, take out the sink and the hob area, and you see that you're left with very little worktop space. So the compromise generally comes in: do they have the fridge and freezer underneath the worktop and not bother with the tall housing, or do they sacrifice the worktop space? It is always a very difficult decision. But today I'm going to talk about a way of creating more worktop space quite simply. And the way to do this is very simple indeed, as I say, and that is to make the worktop a little bit deeper back to front than standard. Typically all worktops are 600mm deep in a fitted kitchen. That means that the sink can fit in comfortably, the hob and all the built-in appliances sit underneath. But if you were to make your worktop 700mm deep, just bear with me, just think about this. So yes, 700mm deep, for every metre of worktop space you will gain that much extra worktop space. Now typically worktops are a lot longer than a metre on a kitchen run, and if you were to have 2 metres of worktop space, which is 700mm deep, you will gain that much space. And obviously we can go up to 3 metres, but I don't have enough hands, but you get the idea. Now on that amount of worktop space you could quite easily have a chopping board. You can prepare a meal on that extra worktop space, or it would actually sit a toaster and a kettle, which frees up more worktop space. So basically what you want to be doing is talking to your kitchen designer and looking at the possibility of increasing the depth of your worktop. Now there are quite a few advantages that you might not realise when you actually increase the depth of your worktop. Advantages in addition to gaining that extra worktop space. So let's first of all talk about the sink and the space you have from the back of the sink typically to the wall. Now if you look at these two clips, I think it will explain it better for you. Here we have a standard 600mm deep worktop with a typical inset sink set into it. You can see at the back of the sink just how little space you've actually got. I mean, it's not usable worktop space for anything, that, and quite frankly it's very difficult to keep clean. If you've got tiles at home at the moment, you'll usually have a silicone seal down to the worktop, and you can see just generally how dirty that gets and how difficult it is to keep clean. So that's one of the problems when you set a sink into a 600mm deep top. I've just realised there's another thing that we could mention about saving worktop space, and that is using a sink that's got a smaller draining board. You can see on this example here, if we just pan out a little bit, that draining board in proportion to the bowl is quite a bit smaller, and that of course gives you more worktop space. You've just got to assess how much you need as far as draining board space is concerned and choose the right sink. Now we don't actually have a sink set into a deeper worktop in the showroom, so we can't show you exactly what we mean. But here, with a piece of card that represents the back edge of a sink, we're trying to show you exactly what space you'd have left if you set a sink into a 700mm deep worktop. Now you can see from this, it's a much bigger space obviously than the last one we showed you. It means that it's so much easier to clean, but it also means there's actually space there to put things that you use at the sink regularly, cleaning materials or perhaps detergents, whatever. And obviously if you start to put things there, it frees up worktop space elsewhere. Now what we've just said there about sinks also applies to your hob unit. So that extra space you can get behind your hob, as we've shown with the sink there, is you can stand your condiments, you can stand your olive oil bottles, and that frees up worktop space around the hob as well. And all the things we talked about cleaning also apply. But there's another feature with the hob if you do that deeper worktop. You've got to appreciate that behind a hob, these days, typically we have not tiles necessarily, but splashbacks, and they can come in different materials. Now, if you look at laminate in particular, you have to bear in mind heat, and also in actual fact with quartz, because we have had problems with quartz discolouring with heat. And what happens is, if say you do a lot of Asian style cooking where you use some really big pans, and you put that pan onto a gas hob say, and that flame will lick up the back of the pan and get quite close to whatever you've clad your wall with. And as I say, in certain instances, especially laminates, but even with quartz, you can get problems with heat damaging the splashback. Again, see this little clip here. Now here we have a gas hob also built into a 600mm deep work surface. And as with the sink we showed you before, there's very, very little worktop space at the back. Certainly not enough to put anything there, and once again, extremely difficult to clean. Now you might say, I've said that we can't have splashbacks behind gas hobs because they may burn, be it laminate or even quartz. So what we've done to counteract that with this particular job is we've got a heat-resistant glass splashback, which solves the problem. I'd also like to point out that on this particular hob, as is the case with many, there is a high-powered burner, and it's actually positioned at the back of the hob. And these burners are designed really for woks or for very large pans, and that can exacerbate the situation sometimes. So you can start to see the problem here. We've put a large pan on that high-powered burner, and you've got to imagine that the flame from that burner will spread under the pan and almost get to the very edge of the pan. And you can see just how close that pan actually is to the splashback. And as we said, it can even, if you get heat so close to your splashback, it can even start to discolour quartz. Now there are more advantages. If you consider that extra depth of worktop, it gives your fitter quite a bit more tolerance to allow for walls that are running out of square. He can cut the worktop to the shape of the wall and maintain 90 degrees at each corner. But also, again, you won't be aware of this, but certain appliances, especially integrated washing machines, for some reason, if you try and integrate them into a 60cm deep worktop, sometimes it's very difficult to get them far enough back so that everything lines up at the front. It is a problem when we ever do an integrated washing machine, we automatically make the worktop deeper because it is a persistent problem. So that's something that perhaps your designer might not be aware of and you might need to point out if you're having an integrated washing machine. Now, staying on the theme of integrated washing machines, another conversation we have is the cost of these things versus a freestanding washing machine. Because integrated washing machines are always a lot more expensive than freestanding washing machines. Now then, if you make your top 70cm deep, that extra 100mm we're talking about, it is possible to take an existing freestanding washing machine, put it under the worktop and hinge a couple of doors over the front of it to hide it. So you've not gone then to the expense of a brand new integrated washing machine. It's another great plus for deeper worktops. The last thing that I would say to you as an advantage for having deeper worktops is that with some makes of furniture, I have to say the better makes that can be customised, you can actually have your cupboards made 70cm deep. And not only that, with the range that we use, for example, we can even have our drawer packs, our drawer units made the full 70cm depth, and that is a standard cupboard for us. Now again, when I showed you the example of how much extra space you get with a worktop, if you took a 1000mm base unit, one shelf, you get that extra space in one shelf, but typically base cupboards have two shelves, so we're back to gaining, again, that much space, which is fantastic. And if it's drawers, the same thing applies. You will get that much extra space. So again, it's worthwhile when you design your kitchen, shop around. Ask the kitchen people in their studios, do you do deeper base cupboards? Do you do deeper drawers? And in that case, it's another fantastic example of why you should consider having a 70cm deep worktop.
Sorry to interrupt the video, but I have some very exciting news for you from Holt's Kitchen Design Experts. Now, many of you have contacted us and asked us to help you with your own projects, and I'm delighted to say that so far we've successfully helped quite a few of you. So much so that we've decided to launch officially an online service. What this means is that you can now take personal advantage of what amounts to well over 100 years of design and appliance experience. You can access that now because what we've done, we've created 3 different packages, if you like, to consider different budgets, different requirements, and also considering whereabouts you are in the world. So you have access to that right now. All you need to do to learn more completely without obligation is email us at hello@holtskde.uk. I'll leave that link down below. You know, there really never has been a better time for you to finally create your dream kitchen, and we would dearly love to help you to do that. I hope to speak to you soon. Okay, back to the video.
Okay, like with everything else, there's always a plus side, which I've discussed, but yes, generally there's a downside as well. So let's just look at the ramifications if you decide to have 70cm deep worktops. Now, the first negative, so to speak, is cost. If you're looking at laminate worktops, off-the-shelf laminate worktops typically come 600mm deep and then 900mm deep. And obviously the 900 deep will cost you an awful lot more than the 600mm deep. And therefore, if you want 700 deep tops, there's quite a bit of wastage. You're paying for more than you need. So that's to be thought about. If you go for a quality laminate provider, they actually have stages. Rather than going from 600 to 900, they will have a price at 700, they'll have a price at 900, then they'll maybe have a price at 1200. And basically the 700 deep will be less expensive than the 900 deep. And if you go into a quality kitchen company, they should be able to get those type of laminate worktops for you. Now the same doesn't, yes, quartz will be more expensive, but the same doesn't really apply as much as a percentage, because quartz is usually charged by the square metre and you're not adding that much to it. So the percentage increase in price in quartz isn't usually as great as it is with laminate if you're having to go to the 900 deep units. Another possible problem is access, reaching things, because you're standing further away, obviously, from the wall. Some clients like to open a window. Now, it depends where that window is. If it's high up, the kitchen window, and you're trying to reach it, that could be a problem, especially if the sink's there and you can't kneel up onto the worktop. So you've got to consider access to the window if it's important to you. And the other thing, of course, is access to wall cupboards. Now, yes, you're standing further away, so getting to the back of a wall cupboard could be trickier. Again, we've mentioned in previous videos, we do wall cupboards that are deeper, 350mm deep carcasses, which means they're easier to reach. But if you haven't got that facility available to you, you just have to consider whether or not you can access those cupboards properly if you're standing further away. Typically, if you're going to make a worktop deeper, it's better making the sink worktop deeper, and again, that's usually the wall that has a window on it, so there won't be any wall cupboards there anyway. So perhaps it doesn't apply to you. The other slight negative you have to consider are the tall housings that we've previously mentioned, because if those tall housings are in the same run as your 700mm deep worktop, then you're going to, the housings will be 600mm deep, you have to pull them off the wall. And that obviously means there's a gap behind them that you can see. The solution to that problem is, if it's what we call an off-the-shelf kitchen, they will get a panel that is 700mm deep and plant it onto the outside of that housing. If you're going for a better quality customised kitchen, ask for having the actual housing made deeper on the two end panels, so there's no extra panel planted on the side. That can be done, and it does solve the problem. Whilst we're talking about extra deep worktops, it's worth bringing into the equation peninsula units, island units. Now again, if you're using a laminate, most kitchen designers will stick to that 900mm depth for your island and for the depth of any peninsula coming off the wall, because that's what's generally available off the shelf. So it is always worth discussing, can your kitchen designer get you a more custom made laminate? Because to go deeper than 900, if the room allows you to do so from a dimensional point of view, it's great to have the island maybe 1000 or 1200mm deep back to front. It gives you so much more worktop space. And the same obviously applies to a peninsula. And where that actually comes in is if there's a bar on the back of the island or the reverse of the peninsula, because somebody sat there eating with a plate as well. If that top is 1200 deep back to front, then there's an awful lot more room left even when somebody sat there having a meal at the island or peninsula. That doesn't apply quite so much with quartz, granite, porcelain, because the slabs, the sizes of those particular products are sometimes 1400mm. So it's quite simple to extend the depth of an island or the depth of peninsula if you're using one of the solid surfaces. As we mentioned at the start of this video, worktop space is a vital component in your new kitchen design. For some reason, kitchen designers seem to have a blind spot about simply making your worktops that little bit deeper back to front. I don't know why it is. Maybe it's because they think it can't be done, or maybe the product that they have doesn't offer that. I don't know. But it is definitely available, and it's definitely a great solution to increasing your available worktop space. And it might just mean that if you do that, that tall fridge freezer housing that before you were considering compromising on is now no longer a problem, and it will fit into your design perfectly. So that's it for today's video. Obviously, if it's a bit of interest to you, you'd like to see more of what we have to offer, hit the subscribe button. And as always, if you've got any questions about this or any other video, please get in contact. We'd be delighted to hear from you, and we will get back to you. Thanks once again for your time, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.